Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today with a Friday Night SmackDown review of the WWE Draft. Normally, some of my favorite videos to make out of the whole year is honestly to look at the WWE DVD news, upcoming year of DVDs that they have planned, and sort of talking about the DVDs that they have to come. And then also doing the Superstar Shakeup talks, where basically I look at the Raw and SmackDown rosters and think that this is the top 5 people that would be the best to jump from Raw to SmackDown or from SmackDown to Raw to really help their careers in the upcoming year. I tried to think of a way to make a WWE draft video and thought that honestly, because almost everybody is on the move, you don't really know who the top 5 guys that move from Raw to SmackDown are because you don't really know who's going to be on Raw or SmackDown with them. I chose just to sort of sit back, watch the show, and talk about what I thought happened. I honestly can tell you that I didn't watch the show. As of right now, I'm looking at the Wrestling Observer review of the show, and they basically have put the rosters up for you to look at. And I can honestly tell you that if you are the biggest name in WWE, you were put into these pools of who was going to get picked off of which show. And that is the way that they're sort of splitting up the roster as of right now. The first pick taken in the draft by Monday Night Raw was Becky Lynch. Monday Night Raw getting the number 1 pick in the show, and all of the news basically saying that Raw will now no longer be the number 1 show of the company, with Fox giving WWE $4 billion for the rights to SmackDown. SmackDown going to be the new home of all of the main, I guess you can say, storylines and things going on in the company. And that's going to get the boost. I can tell you from a fan sitting at home, a fan for years, we have heard for years, every time that there's been anything with the move on SmackDown, that WWE is now going to put a feel on SmackDown. It's no longer going to be looked at as the B show. It's no longer going to be run just by whoever, and they're going to put the big names there. You can think over the years, Triple H moved to SmackDown. Undertaker lived on SmackDown. They put Roman Reigns on SmackDown, and these were all supposed to be things to give it a boost over the years to make people remember SmackDown's on. You got to watch SmackDown and make it the big thing. So I can honestly tell you by looking at the Raw and SmackDown drafts, Raw ended up taking Becky Lynch first. SmackDown ended up taking Roman Reigns first. The names that are listed for who's going to be there, I thought that it was pretty cool that Monday Night Raw was able to take the OC, a lot like how during the first draft back in 2002, the NWO was able to get drafted, Hogan, Hall, and Nash all in one pick. I know that with the drafts, like with tag teams in the past, they seem to make it a storyline that tag teams are going to get broken up, or one guy gets taken and the other guy doesn't get taken, and they're split up by the draft, and that's the reason why they can't be a tag team anymore. We didn't see that storyline at all. We had the Viking Raiders picked. We had the Street Profits picked. We had the Revival picked. The Lucha House Party picked. It doesn't look like they're going to be breaking up any tag teams as of right now. If they do, there is a good chance because there is a list of free agents, wrestlers that were not picked from their pool. Most of these guys look like they're guys that are not used on Raw or SmackDown anyways, or some of these guys are even 205 Live guys, which isn't good because a lot of these guys are getting split up with the 205 Live guys going to Monday Night Raw, some going to SmackDown. The rumor is out there that 205 Live might be getting canceled. From a guy sitting here who's never watched one episode of 205 Live, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. You just got to find out where your Cruiserweight champion is going to go and basically make that a part of the show. In my opinion, it could go either way. Raw or SmackDown would help it out, and you could have good matches to kick off the show and carry a show. And hopefully some of those guys will become names in WWE instead of just being fringe names, a lot like guys that wrestle for NXT that not everybody knows about. Because of the fact you're putting them on your number 1 and number 2 show in the company, people are going to know, and that sort of makes them more valuable when a pay-per-view comes around. My first thoughts by looking at like the Monday Night Raw roster, for a roster that was supposed to get stripped down to a point where it was going to be the new B show of the company. Becky Lynch, the OC, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Ricochet, Bobby Lashley, Alexa Bliss, Kevin Owens, Natalya, the Viking Raiders, Nikki Cross, and the Street Profits. It doesn't really look like this roster is getting stripped of its stars. As of right now, we don't know where Brock Lesnar is going to go. We don't know where Seth Rollins is going to go. So we don't know who the champion of each brand is going to be. The only titles that we have split up right now is the SmackDown tag titles are on the Revival. So you would think Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler will be staying with Monday Night Raw. Or, we don't know where the United States or the Intercontinental titles are going to be. Maybe they're going to get to a point where they just look at, we only need one title for each division. They sort of have the next pay-per-view. You go Brock versus Seth. You go Intercontinental versus US. You do tag title versus tag title. And you basically make it where the champions jump from show to show. But then again, there's talks that Fox want Fox guys to be Fox guys on SmackDown, and USA want Raw guys to be Raw guys on USA. So you don't really know where you're going to go. SmackDown's roster, you got Roman Reigns, The Fiend Bray Wyatt, which is kind of like the hottest guy before they killed him off at Hell in a Cell. You've got Sasha, Braun Strowman, Lacey Evans, The Revival, Lucha House Party, and Heavy Machinery. When you look at that roster, you do get a lot of power in Roman Reigns. Yes, not everybody loves this guy, but he is one of the top names in the company. He's one of the largest merch movers. He is the guy they put out for, the Good Morning America, the Today Show, CNN, any sort of big thing that goes down. Roman Reigns is going to be at the forefront. He's almost like the new John Cena. It doesn't matter if he's in the main event of WrestleMania. Any match that Roman Reigns is going to be a part of is going to be the main event for WWE, and it's going to be something that's really pushed out there. So as of right now, SmackDown doesn't really look like it has the $4 billion roster that it's going to. And with them doing the whole thing where Raw got more picks than SmackDown, the rumor of SmackDown becoming a 3-hour show does not look like that is going to be coming to light anytime soon. With the killing off of 205 Live, you can look at what AEW is currently doing with their YouTube show, AEW Dark. As of right now, it's almost like when WWE pushed Main Event when it first came out. They're having a lot of big matches on that show. We don't really know if that's going to live on in the future or if that's just for the start of this show to get it boosted to where people put eyes on it. Maybe it's a good place. They've got a large roster to keep people wrestling. But then again, people are going to AEW as an alternative to WWE and a place to become stars. And if they find that they're like the second-rate stars of AEW that are only going to be wrestling on AEW Dark, who knows before they lose interest in that company and they're wanting to jump either just to go back to the indies or to find a home, in WWE, trying to be, if I'm going to be second rate here, it might be better for me to be second rate in the other company where I'm probably going to make more money. So we'll see. But as of right now, first night down in the WWE draft, I don't think Raw lost any steam at all. And I still think that it might be looked at as the A show in that company.